Now, I think I'm back on live. Just give it a little bit of time, a few seconds. Hopefully, I know Julia Casterson joined before. He didn't see anything, couldn't hear me. I'm just going to give it a couple of seconds, but while I'm at it, I'm hoping I can. We just give it a few seconds. I just lost the guys, but Lanny, good to see you, man. No, I'm doing fine. I'm doing good, doing really good. Been away for a while. I was quite busy, but I've had a pretty good few months. Yeah, been good. In a really good place, man. Really am. Ah, well, lucky you've got me here to keep keep you filled in on the use, and I think I went a good Lanny, and I barely tried to. I never looked at the use for a while, and you feel so much better, because there's not all this stuff. These like because most of it is bad and it's designed and it's propaganda to have you in fear so they can control you better. And, it's easier to control you that way, and you just feel a lot better when you don't look at it. Well, I felt that way anyway. I back a horse in the Grand National. I don't know, mate. I was maybe going to be playing poker tomorrow. I don't know about the Grand National. I mean, I could. Um, Never really do bet the Grand National though. I do a lot. I've done sports betting in the past, but that's never one I've done. Um, did try horse racing at one point, but yeah, horse racing. I wouldn't say I lost a lot of money in it, but I didn't really win much either. I just backed away. Well, all Neil Oliver said is Rusty Rockets is my friend. That's Russell Brand. Casual. Yeah, I'd probably say I'm a casual better too. Poker. I've been doing okay in poker. I've been actually a winning player, Lenny, at poker since the start of the year. It's not a lot, but it's nice though. You can get a little bit extra money in your pocket. You know what I mean? Um, Just had some runs where I would just kind of like consistently win in tournaments. I'm more of a tournament player. I'm not really big on cash games. I never tend to do that well in a cash game. But tournaments I can do okay. I can get in the money quite closer to the end. Oh yeah, he's been on Rumble for a while. You know what I mean? Which is kind of where a lot of the people on the right seem to go. The alternative media, so to speak. With a horse in the Grand National, though, Lenny, what would you be kind of looking for? Which is you would say is good odds. Like you talking like the horses that are around like the horses that are like 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 7 to 1. What do you normally go for? Do you go for like just a big one, a dark horse? Yeah, there always kind of was a stink, wasn't there, Lanny? We should have seen it, right? We should have seen it. 3 weeks to go at 40 to 1. He's 9 to 1 now. Oh, yeah, it's. I mean, that's the thing, is it? And then it. With the amount of people that bet on a horse, like I would suspect that, like, I mean, you can't really. I don't know. There's these theories, conspiracy theories, Lenny, that the Grand National would be rigged. But if he's going from 40 to 1 to 9 to 1, that horse, a lot of people have been putting money on that horse to win. That's the way it kind of works, isn't it? The influence of how the odds change, right? Um, or correct me if I'm wrong. Did Hewitt win a few of the minor races, and that's why his odds have dropped? Or a lot of them probably do pay NDAs. Yeah, I mean, it's NDAs can be pretty common, can they? It's not even like so much to do with sexual misconduct, like say in out of work, in the workplace. I was going to mention like workplace. A lot of these bosses will pay people off simply because they don't want them to disparage the company. You know what I mean? It could be like toxic environment. There's workplace bullying, stuff like that. So they'll get them to do a settlement that way. Yeah, £800. Wow, wow. So I can imagine that's going to be like a big investment. Like you could get big return on his money, right? Because God, there's like guys like in football that got into horse racing. I know they still are. Like like Alex Ferguson. I think Alex Ferguson's still into it a bit, is he? Like Alex Ferguson, Michael Owen. They're big in horse racing. It's not something I really know enough about, but I mean, like we are, I guess our like small version of the Grand National is like the Perth races. There's that Lenny in Perth here. That's around I think July, August time. I've never been though, but I hear that's a big thing. Then you get all the people that get out and dress up nice, and the ladies, and but they have a bit, they're already necking it. They've already had a few cans by midday or one in the afternoon, whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, maybe one day I'd go. Maybe one day. Oh, of course, yeah. Real life is grim. You'd want a fairy tale, wouldn't you? And yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, for me, I'd probably do a horse that was like 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 7 to 1. Uh, Scottish race. See, I'm not big with the horses. Sorry. I had quite a run, Lenny, where when it was the Cricket World Cup in 2019, the one that England won. Um, I placed, I think, overall about 12 bets on the Cricket World Cup, and I won every single bet. And I didn't even watch a freaking second of the fucking stupid cricket. I didn't care. I didn't watch hardly any of it until it got to like the final a little bit. I did see a bit of it, and that was the only one that was a sweat as well. Every other match was I won comfortably. And it helped. It helped having an Indian friend because the first bet was on, and I think there was a game, and the odds were kind of like 1 to 5. So I was placing a lot of money on to get a bit of a profit. And then I asked an Indian friend of mine, and who I know, and she was just like, "Yeah, this is the point to place the bet. There's no way the other side are going to come back and take it." Um, oh yeah, yeah, they can last a long time. I mean, it's like the World Cup ones are quicker, but when you're talking about these 2-day test games or 3 days or whatever it is, yeah, they're long ass games. Um, but it is kind of an art to it, about placing it at the right time and again having a run where I placed every bet and I did not know a thing about cricket, never cared to watch it. That was quite something. That's maybe something I need to have a try and do again. See if I can replicate that. It's funny, Lanny. Julio Cast joined, and then the stream cut off. And then Cara joined at the very beginning. Someone was I could just sense it. I could just sense. I just had a feeling this is Cara, right? And lo and behold, it was. But she's, I think, our daughter to see too. So, do, 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 do. Yeah, you can always count on them as well. But Maureen as well. I mean, she's Maureen messaged me last week. She replied to she commented on one of my posts, but I haven't heard from. She's not always. Sometimes she'll respond later on WhatsApp. But we could see it again. Richard Chamberlain, Val Kilmer died this week. Rest in peace. Yeah, I mean, I mean, a lot of people saying a lot of things about Val Kilmer. I mean, I've never really followed Val Kilmer as acting career. Didn't follow him. Didn't really see any movies of Val Kilmer. Maybe people will be looking at me and thinking, "Oh, was I living under a rock?" But never. I mean, I know that was like Top Gun was the big one and well respected actor. I don't know. I just never saw anything. It was never like a name. Oh, I've got to see a Val Kilmer film. I just didn't. No, I haven't seen Batman Forever. No, no, no. Maybe one I'll check out though. But Playing with my mind, stop wasting my time. I mean, I prefer more real gritty things, Lenny. It's like, a lot of people are talking about adolescence, and I think there's a bit of an agenda behind that, and there's propaganda there, and Starmer and all that are going to use it, and it's kind of like there's that kind of like anti male agenda behind it. Um, by talking about playing it in all the schools, I think there's more to that than meets the eye, really. But there's one thing about from seeing clips of adolescence online, it's like, oh fuck, that's going to be a difficult watch. You know what I mean? And you can say what you want about, you know, what the agenda is behind that series, but there's no doubt, I'm sure because he has a great name as an actor, Stephen Graham probably did an excellent job on it overall. I think the young lad, it's probably now this just changed his life. He did an excellent job. I'm certain. See the clips I've seen anyway. It's hard to look at. I'm sure Ashley Walters played his part, and the girl that was the woman that would have been the psychiatrist, right, or psychologist. But yeah, it's one of those like I know I want to watch it, but then there's a part of me it's like this is going to be a struggle. This is going to be a struggle. You know what I mean? Like seeing the team, like seeing the scene where the dad breaks down in tears, and and then he puts his toy, like would it have been like a bunny or a rabbit or someone under his bed and saying, "I'm sorry, son." Like that's powerful, man. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's the kind of scenes that like they're gonna really hit you. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, I know what you mean about that. I know what you mean about that, Lenny. I mean, but he's in that world though, isn't he? He's you know, and now all the shit coming out about him saying that he's Jamaican and he was teased for his mixed race heritage. It's like all this shit now. It's like Gary Lineker all over again, isn't it? I mean, he's a great actor. I mean, say what you want. I mean, he could have been, looked down on because of a lot of, like his stature, his size, you know what I mean? But for him to overcome that and to be seen as one of the best actors to come out of UK, you got, I'll give the guy his due. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know if it's a case that they're plants, Lenny. I don't know about that. I think they start off genuine and authentic, but when they realize, oh shit, to have the success that we sought out and we dreamed of, we've got to play the game a certain way. And then they change and then they're controlled. I think that's how it is. You know, you might, I don't know if you would call that as a constitutes as a plan. I don't know. That's just my take on it, though. I understand where you're coming from, though. Yeah, I know. It's weird, is it? It's like a lot of like wolves in sheep's clothing. They really are. Like, but what's scary, well, a lot of them, I feel it's like they really believe it though. Like, yeah, you'll get the people that deep down know it's bullshit, the stuff that they're saying. But then it's the people who really believe it, that believe that they're right. You know what I mean? With all their freaking, virtue signaling. Yeah, I know. It's insulting to your intelligence, right? But they just have, you know what I mean? They have both sides by the balls, though. You know what I mean? It's not just like, the pro left wing media and all their propaganda, but then it's the way that people on the right will put things out as well, to stir up division and, the racial hatred and feeling a certain way of other ethnic groups. It's all like by design, really, is what it is. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to get out of that shit because I did fall for that shit. You know, I fell for a lot of the propaganda on the right. You know, and as a kid, a teenager, I would have fallen for the propaganda on the left about Obama, yes we can, and all that nonsense. You know what I mean? Oh, of course, yeah, of course. I mean, Biden, goodness me, I don't know. You know, I mean, how could anyone with a functioning brain justify Joe Biden's time as the president? I mean, how? How could they? You know what I mean? It was clear that he had early signs of dementia. I mean, who knows? This guy could be a freaking fake. You know what I mean? There's these theories that it was body doubles used. Boy, I don't know, man. Well, they said 3 months ago that Russell Brand, yeah, he moved to the UK, right? No, he fled the UK. I guess he fled for a reason, right? Obviously. Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean about the woke crap. People are struggling to pay bills. Well, that's the thing, Lenny. And you know what it is. You know why it's like people like countries in Africa don't do all that woke crap and about LGBTQIA and all that and trans. It's because they're just focused on surviving. That's why they don't do all that woke stuff and they don't suffer it. You know. Mm. Who knows, though? Who knows what the hell's going on here? You know, who knows? He might be able to survive it. You never know. You just never know. Of course, they're serious. Yeah, yeah. When you got money and you've got a lot of fame and celebrity, you can get away with it for a little bit longer than the average Joe in the street would, perhaps. Well, yeah, with adolescents, I think what they're trying to say is that, with all these stories going on, with crimes that are going on, and the big ones, and like that, the teenager with the Southport killing, the killing the young kids that were like that Taylor Swift workshop thing and stuff like that. I think what they're trying to do is to get away from that and make it about, like, white men, white men, and that they're the problem, and toxic masculinity is a problem specifically with white men, and we've got to check our white privilege. I think that's part of the agenda there that they're deflecting, and it would be a bit more uncomfortable because it was like, let's say, like I don't know, where you could say an Arab teen, an Indian teen, Syrian teen, I don't know, a Romanian teen, um, a black teen. If it was one of them playing the kid, then people might say that the people in the show, that was a stereotype, a racial stereotype, and the people in the show, they were racist, and that was wrong, and that's offensive. It hurt their feelings to portray a character like that. That's maybe what I would say the agenda is, Lenny. Um, yeah, I mean, that's a great point, Lenny. Yeah, it's like, you know, you weren't, my brother plays Grand Theft Auto, but he doesn't have these desires to go out. All of a sudden, going to go out, take a knife, and stab somebody. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I know. Billion is that's brutal, man. Freaking brutal. I know, I know, I know. Yeah, I mean, I guess what there was, the boy was part of this like online thing, this whole incel culture, about being celibate by choice, but really what it is because girls have rejected you, and yeah, you take your anger out in the world, but based on that, yeah, it's pretty messed up. It's like, yes, it's not nice, but again, Lanny, I don't know your life. How about it? My life, sure, you're gonna get rejected. It happens. You just take it on the chin and you move on, right? You know what I mean? You want to go. You weren't going to go. Throw your whole life away based on someone rejecting your girl when you were in first year, and okay, so you're 13-year old and you stab someone, you kill them. Okay, because you're of your age. It's not like you could get out of that of doing a lifetime sentence. You know what I mean? It would be that thing, but you very much it would be like it's kind of similar to like the whole Jamie Bulger thing with those two kids, right? That killed him. You're gonna, a totally different identity to go to another country, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? But you're still essentially throwing your life away to do that. because a girl rejected you. It's like, you know, it's well, I mean, it isn't a nice term. It's certainly not a pleasant, flattering term. But then there's people I think in the community though that they'll take some pride in it in a weird way, you know. But school shootings were maybe more the '90s, the Columbine thing, right? I think with that true crime thing, was it Maureen? Maureen used to say about she was into her true crime stuff, Lanny, right? I mean, she was always wanting me to do some true crime stuff, but some of it's so fucking grim, though. You know what I mean? It's like depressing as fuck. Oh, we get one of our regs back on the scene, Kaz. Oi, oi. Well, it's hard to say about being based on misogyny, Lenny. It's just like these guys that are, maybe some of it is a case of being bullied, being picked on at school, but then it's just, they're guys that girls rejected, and it stays with them. It's yeah. No, it's good to see you back, and better than ever, right? Yeah, I know. It's like a simulation that we're living in these days, Cara, isn't it? It's crazy, eh? It's And one thing I was touching on, I don't know if you guys are following the American politics, but what's that whole thing about Trump trying to hoping that Canada will become the 51st state and all that stuff? And it's like all this stuff that like it's weird as well because like, you go back 20 years ago when Alex Jones was doing those films about all those things he was warning about the North American Union, but now Trump's doing that. And like Alex Jones is still like very much seems to be like he's a pro-Trump guy celebrating Trump. It's like you just know that this is kind of like all a psyop. It's all bullshit. A lot of the conspiracy world is just bullshit, taking you down rabbit holes that won't go anywhere. It's just so much so it's controlled, really. I hadn't heard about that, Cara. No, no. This is stealth aircraft. Mhm. Deep, deep inside, deep, deep down inside. Do you remember that song, Cara? Deep, deep inside, deep, deep down inside. Been playing it a lot the past few days. Yeah, have you got like a web link or something? I could check out that story. Have you got like? No problem. Yeah, no worries, Cara. Yeah, but with this stuff, then Russell Brand, I'm just as I'm going on because this is the so he's been charged with the R word, indecent assault, and sexual assault between 1999 and 2005. So the charges relate to four separate women. Brand has been interviewed multiple times by police since an investigation by the Sunday Times, the Times, and Channel 4's dispatches. That was in September 2023, and they revealed multiple serious allegations against him. Um, the Metropolitan Police had said to Brand to inform him that he was being charged with one allegation of the R word, one allegation of indecent assault, one allegation of oral R word, and two further counts of sexual assault. It's alleged that the woman was R word in the Bournemouth area. And that was 1999. So 1999. So was he even really a celebrity at that point? I don't think so. In 2001, a woman was indecently assaulted in the Westminster area of London. 2004, a woman was orally R-worded and sexually assaulted in the Westminster area of London. Between 2004 and 2005, a woman was sexually assaulted in the Westminster area of London. So it seems to be, a few of them in London where that would have been around the time, he's a celebrity. You can be based out there. Well, a lot of celebrities are anyway. Bournemouth, don't know how he landed up around there. It was even maybe before he was even a celebrity. But yeah, doesn't look good. But this seems to have been a while in the making, right? Because that was a year and a half ago that documentary came out, right? It's only really now that they've taken action and they've charged them. Um, but yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, is it possible that Russell Brand there's a side of him now that generally is he remorseful? He's wanting to turn his life around for the better. Well, he probably does want to turn his life around, but then he also doesn't want to admit that if these things have happened, that they're true. Russell Brand from 18 months ago, and I did a couple of videos on it at the time. He's very much now he's going down the Christian route, is he? He's like become a born again Christian, been baptized, and all this. And yeah, I just I don't really buy it with him. You could say that people deserve second chances, no doubt. We all deserve second chances. We can all screw up, but you really have to have to want it. You really want it. It has to come from you that you want to change, right? And it's for the right reasons. And I don't really know if it's for the right reasons with Russell Brand. I feel it's kind of maybe a persona he's tried to cultivate, that he was more kind of a lefty, but then when the word got out what he was really like, his predatory ways, then he wasn't welcome in those circles. You hear the stories about how Catherine Ryan was on this game show with him, and almost all the time, if there was a commercial, there was and a break, he was always having a go, saying he was a predator, he was this, he was that. And yes, and maybe just around that point, Russell Brand maybe realized this isn't going to work. I need to kind of pivot. I need to change. And that's maybe where all of a sudden now Russell Brand goes from being kind of like a moderate kind of lefty, but could see both side things on both sides of the spectrum. To when you see his channel now, it's all pro right wing stuff. It's all pro Trump stuff. It's so freaking transparent. Where at least I could have given him the benefit of the doubt at one point that maybe he was just he changed and he turned more to the right because of how out of whack things got on the left. But you can see that it's very much to me, it's an image he's carefully, kind of, let's say cultivated for himself. And yeah, that's how I feel on that about Russell Brand. What do you guys think? But yeah, but 26 years ago is a long time. But these things, I mean, I mean, it's they have the whole thing statute of limitations in America, right? But it's a bit different here, though, isn't it? It's all right. Interesting, Cara. Was this the ones from back in the day that were a bit more fun, like 2000s? Remember the one with Coolio on it? Coolio, remember the rapper? He was quite a character, wasn't he? Oh, that one, yeah, that was weird. Yeah, yeah. Was that not like something that happened there that kind of like some of them you had an idea what he was like Savile. Some of them were like on that show. Some of them were clued in on what was really going on, weren't they? I think. Yeah, that was it. That was it, Cara. That was it. Secrets don't stay in a grave. That was the exactly what it was. Yeah, the line. And then Michael Barrymore. He was in this play, Lanny, in Aberdeen in 2006. It's like 5 years after that whole thing. He was actually quite good, to be fair. He was quite good in it. I think it was Scrooge he played. And yeah, this was like at the theater around Christmas time. And hey, he was actually not bad in it, to be fair. Deep, deep inside, deep, deep down inside. I was going to say I was play songs like, well, I know you, Cara. You like your house music, Cara. Lenny, I know you're not like it's like a hit and a miss for you with house, right? It's kind of the only genre I can stand these days. Like I used to be mostly like all rap, hip hop, R&B, and I, like 2 years ago I switched to house. Yeah. The way your mind works, Cara. The way your mind works. I'm kind of dirty minded like that as well, to be fair. But It was well, kind of not different from what you think. It's love, you know. It was a line. All we need is love. Yeah, because I was listening. Because you might remember, I don't know if it rings a bell, Cara. That song, "Beautiful People." I think you were on the stream at the time when I played it. I think you and Maureen were on. I'm not sure if you were or Lenny, but they had used it in another song as well. It's quite a good one. It's yeah, the beautiful people. It's by Barbara Tucker. Barbara Tucker. I don't know. You might not be all familiar with the DJs, but it was Louis Vega. He had produced it. I know the clip you mean, Lenny. Yeah, Russell Brand P Diddy. That was around the time. Yeah, but I think they were doing that filming that movie, wasn't it? Get him to the Greek. Yeah. But I know Russell Brand said some interesting. He made some interesting comments on Diddy at the time. He said he was an interest, like he was a very persuasive character. If Diddy wants you to do something, you very find it very hard to say no to him. So gives you an idea of what Diddy's true nature was, you know. And now you see, like you know what I mean. Like Kanye West is now the only person defending Diddy. What's going on with Kanye? I don't know if you guys have seen that. What that's going on with him? Just even like a bigger breakdown than he had, like 2.5 years ago. But boy, oh boy, he's gone off in the deep end. From first saying that how Diddy, he thought Diddy was a fed, right? A fed, an informant. But there probably was something. There was truth to that, right? But now it's he's riding with Diddy, and it's free puff. He's got trying to get a hashtag going with free puff. He was very in a manipulative way, was able to record Diddy on it for one of his songs on his album Buoy. Recorded a phone conversation with Diddy on the same song that his daughter North appeared on, Northwest. Quite a name, right? And but then Diddy was partly pissed off and incensed that Kanye recorded the phone conversation of him and Diddy. Like Diddy needs all the help he needs right now, right? All the support. But you're fucked when the guy that Diddy, it's like in the biggest fight of his life with hundreds of, or maybe thousands of allegations, lawsuits piling up. He's fucked, right? And Diddy is almost like doesn't want anything to do with you and is mad at you for recording the phone conversation. That's when you know you're in a bad place, right? I don't know. Yeah, it's apparently it's yeah these days, but I know what you mean about narc attack, Cara. Yeah, it's like these narcissists are. This is the narcissist attacking another narcissist, and it's just never ends well, eh? Never ends well. Well, the thing about Kanye West, though, he talks all this shit, right, and thinks he's untouchable, but put him in jail, right? Put Kanye West in prison for a day. He would not survive a day in jail, Kanye. I can tell you that right now. He would not survive. He'd be like breaking down, crying in tears. He wouldn't survive a day in jail. It's surprising that he hasn't been arrested for something. I mean, there is a couple allegations out there with him and sexual misconduct, and a couple of things with him and Diddy and these women. That's maybe why he's sticking by Diddy, right? Because they just made a pact that they're going to stick together. You know what I mean? Very much like an I scratch your back, you scratch mine thing. But I mean, it's so irrelevant at this stage with like Diddy, though. Diddy's just fucked. You know what I mean? Jay-Z eats himself from Diddy, and LeBron James has distanced himself. You know what I mean? These guys, it's you know, but Kanye's the one guy. Bail 'em out. uh, it's just Diddy's. I think it's next month. The trial starts with Diddy, right? But it's like, I mean, want him to do an Epstein. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, do they what do they want out of this? Do they want Diddy to rat, or do they want Diddy in jail for the rest of his life? What do they want out of this? You know, maybe they don't know what they want. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, was he thrown under the bus? Did he? Was a bigger, darker agenda behind that? Yeah, or maybe you could just say ultimately it was karma. You know, the chickens came home to roost. You know, but beautiful, deep, deep inside, deep, deep down inside. What show? What would the title be for that show, Lenny? For Diddy and R. Kelly in jail could be his reality TV. What would the name of that show be? Could think of something witty, right? Cervical. Welcome. Anyone who speaks the truth to a bigger audience is guaranteed jail time. Welcome to fascist Britain. Possibly. Is that something, would you say, does that apply to the Andrew Tate situation right now? Or that's bigger than that? Yeah, thanks for the comment, Cervical. This is your first stream. Have you seen these before or first one? First one? No, welcome. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Appreciate the comment. Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on the situations, isn't there? There is that thing now with free speech. You don't really have it now in the UK, and you know what I mean. The police as well. They want to arrest people for using the wrong pronouns of someone, and then, but then someone, there's a big car accident or something happened. Someone hit another car, and it was almost like they didn't give a care, or something like something more serious, right? And then the police don't do fuck all about it. And if anything, if you try and you call them and contact them, the police will bother you and harass you and claiming that you're wasting police time, It's like fucking hell, Imagine how, I mean, imagine it's like that thing of like, a kid could screw about with a phone and telephone and call the police by mistake. And then the police, I think that's something happened to me when I was like 5 years old. And the police were well, they were pretty packed off with my parents, right? And imagine this now, like the police are going to waste their fucking time arresting people about the wrong pronouns or going around to someone's house. That is bad. That's ridiculous, isn't it? It's pathetic. Great. No, that I mean, that's the point, is it, Cara? That's exactly what I was saying. It's like that's fucked up, isn't it? It's like, and they're it's a joke, right? And then there's a lot of good police people. They're going to be, you know, they have their higher ups and whatever the constables or whatever they got to answer to and that shit, But I know this doesn't apply to all police people. There's a lot of good police people out there, I don't want to tar everybody with the same brush. Deep, deep inside, deep, deep down inside. Mhm. Two-tier Kier, right? Gotta love them. Gotta love him. Yeah, there's a lot of this nonsense going on, Cara, in the world. I noticed Mick Hucknall's trend, and I think it's Mick Hucknall simply red. I think I think what it is, I think it was an old Top of the Pops episode, is what it was. Because he's ginger. Oh no, no, nothing but love. If it makes you feel better, Cara, you're my favorite one. Remember my old school friend Megan, ginger, back in the day. Oh, good times, good times. I quite like Simply Red's music, to be fair. I've got a good few songs, to be fair. Something Got Me Started that's quite a good one. Favorite everything. You're all heart, Cara. You're all heart. I appreciate that. Appreciate you stuck by. I think you've been on since almost like the first. Oh yeah, yeah. You make me feel brand new. That's a good one. Yeah, almost 2 years now. I think you've been here from like the beginning, Cara. When me doing these streams, I really appreciate it. Loyal. That's what it's about. Loyalty is the big important thing. 100%. That's what it's about, Cara, isn't it? You probably like the beard. You probably like me with the beard, right? That's the beard over no beard. Is that? Oh, the beard. Yeah, I'll keep the beard then. Definitely keep it. I think I've 2 months now. I've grown it. I'll groom and tidy. Keep it neat. Little trim here and there. Yeah. Well, the thing is, Lenny, some dudes can't even grow a beard, right? At least I can say I can. I hear things and I don't know how true they are. Do they not say that that's like a sign that a guy's not got a lot of testosterone in him? There's like a couple of things I always heard is that if guys can't grow facial hair, men, and they also have to pee and they pee they'll pee an awful lot during the day as well. Those are two things that I heard, that soft guys can't grow facial hair, and they'll multiple times they'll pee more than a regular dude with high testosterone. That is, but I just remember hearing those things. Yeah. All right, Cara. Yeah, you say that you're going to touch the beard, stroke the beard a little bit, will you, Cara? Oh well, maybe. We'll see. Maybe that would help. I mean, I don't tend to like. Occasionally, I used to condition our beard, but I don't do that a lot. But once I see a hand just out of nowhere touch me, then I know it's Kaz, right? May exactly, exactly. Have you been Deep, deep inside, deep, deep down inside. Yeah, some people, yeah. Some people, yeah, Tom Selleck was known for that, right? Yeah, like that was like this. What was that? Like the 1970s porn star mustache, right? He was rocking for a long time. Yeah, he could pull off the mustache, Tom Selleck, no doubt. Cristiano Ronaldo, is he 40 years old? Is he still going to be playing for another like year or two? Is he? I thought he'd be done by now, but 40 years old, still playing though. Burt Reynolds, eh? Famous. That was, yeah. Again, another guy. I never saw many of his movies. Burt Reynolds. I'm just going to maybe start wrapping this up and be done in a couple of minutes, guys. Is there any other final comments or just any final questions? Anything you want to say? Just fire away now. And is Bran going to jail? I'll give you a one word answer, Lanny. Dunno. Maybe there's a good chance though. Let's say yes, though. Yes. I'll won't just sit on the fence, Lenny, with this. I'll say yes, he will go to jail. Don't know my stream's been cutting off anyway, but I'm just going to wrap this up for now. But thanks, guys, for coming on. Duocast, you came on earlier, my friend. Appreciate you. I know you didn't stay on, but no, Cara, and thanks for coming on again. I know with stuff, and your daughter. I really do appreciate it, Cara. Thank you. Thanks for being on again. Good to see you. Good to see you, Lanny. It's good to get the regulars back. Lanny, Julio popped in very shortly, but maybe again, I'll see him again. Maybe do a couple more live streams next week. It'll be all fun and games. But yeah, Cara, good to see you again. And yeah, as I say, I'll keep the beard, Cara, just for you. I'll watch out if I'm walking about town and I notice this hand and it's, oh, what the hell? But no, thanks guys for coming on. But I'm just going to wrap this up for now. But have a great weekend, guys. And I'll probably be back again for live stream or two next week. But that's me again. So thank you. Cheers. Bye.